I'm Todd Sampson, adventurer and human guinea pig. And I'm on a mission to investigate some of the most extraordinary people on the planet to see what we can all learn from their lives.
Hey, go!
Using science as my guide, I won't just observe them, I'll hack into their world and try and become them. It will mean pushing my mind and body to the limit to try and prove
Please welcome to the cage, Todd Sampson!
the human body can adapt to almost anything. In this episode, I'm on one of the world's toughest military assault courses.
This is brutal.
My mission is to endure 10 days of training with the legendary French Foreign Legion. In the remote Amazonian jungle, I'll experience firsthand the forging of a soldier's resilience.
Allez, Todd, hurry up!
Sleep-deprived, exhausted, and humiliated,
Come on, Todd!
I will reach my breaking point.
You guys fuck off now. Fuck off.
And then endure an agonizing final challenge that almost kills me.
Hey, I'm drowning, eh?
I've always been intrigued with the mysterious French Foreign Legion. In the early days, it was a refuge for those desperate to escape a shady past, with no questions asked. In return for renouncing their citizenship to fight for France, soldiers would sometimes receive a new identity. Today, the Legion still accepts recruits of all nationalities. And some 8,000 legionnaires serve in combat zones around the globe. But to wear the famous Green Beret now means passing an Interpol background check and proving you're made of the right stuff.
Let's go!
An ocean away from the Eiffel Tower, there's a little piece of France in the jungle of the Amazon. Near the town of Regina in French Guiana is the Foreign Legion's tropical training center. It's here where all new recruits eventually come to train. And the jungle survival course is so formidable, other armies also regularly send their troops to train here, including the British SAS.
I'm just about to meet my platoon. It's going to be a group of soldiers, anti-aircraft soldiers. I don't really know what's coming, but I know this is one of the toughest military courses in the world. So, on the one hand, I'm really excited. And on the other hand, I'm nervous.
The Legion has allowed me to train with a local regiment, but for security reasons, we can't reveal their surnames. Their average age is 23, more than 20 years younger than me.
Bonjour.
Hi, Captain. How are you?
Hi, Captain. Yeah, nice to meet you at last.
Yeah.
I'm happy to find my captain speaks perfect English, having grown up in Alabama.
So this is my platoon, and have you got some clothes? Yeah. Can you go change?
Yes.
As soon as we're done with this, it's going to be the intro test. Rock and roll.
Okay.
The 10-day training course I'm about to attempt is called Toughen Up. It consists of a series of challenges designed to test the resilience of experienced soldiers.
Help! I'm underwater, Captain.
In charge is the Legion senior instructor, whose job it is to weed out those who can't handle the stress of jungle warfare.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites là? Allez, debout! Debout les morts! Soulevez les braquards, avancez!
Ce stage-là, il est parmi les stages plus difficiles à l'armée française. Généralement, la Légion étrangère en particulier.
As one of the instructors just said to me, welcome to hell.
C'est bon. Donc là, vous avez un Australien qui vient faire un stage avec vous. Le but, c'est bien montrer que vous êtes meilleur que l'Australien.
Allez, 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 allez! Allez, go! Allez!
Within minutes of arriving, the onslaught begins. A series of timed tests to ensure everyone meets the minimum fitness requirement. In the heat and the steam of the tropics, it's not long before the stress begins.
Allez, Australien, en avant! Plus vite!
This is not helped by the fact that I have no idea what anyone is saying.
OK. Pour le départ, en main au niveau
And
du
then
stade.
there's the rope test. It means climbing 8 meters in full combat gear, using only your arms. It's a technique these soldiers have been practicing for over a year. I've never climbed an 8-meter rope, even with my legs. I almost make it to the top, and then I lose my grip.
Ok, debout, en place, debout, là-bas.
That is so painful.
I know. Okay, it's a problem. For the course, it's a big problem.
Well, it might be over now.
La corde, il a glissé et les
Before we even start.
sont partis.
Là, c'est la catastrophe, hein. C'est la catastrophe, hein.
The problem here is that it's warm and humid
Yes.
and nothing holds.
Yes,
Okay?
and I'm going in water.
Yeah?
The doctor is concerned about the onset of infection, parasites, and rot. But right now, I'm just struggling with my first test of resilience.
Wow, that is really a lot of pain.
Pain can quickly erode confidence. But in fact, the pain is not in my hands, it's in my head. Our bodies contain a network of nerve endings called nociceptors, which sense potentially hazardous changes in pressure, chemical imbalance, and temperature. Nociceptors don't feel pain. They merely report a warning of trouble to the brain. It's the brain which then creates the pain, estimating its location and intensity.
Pain is a really important signal. It's like a pre-warning in a way, to prevent us from injury. If we didn't feel pain, we'd be injured all the time.
If I'm to make it through the next 10 days, I not only have to manage the injury to my hands, I'll also have to manage my mind.
I can't think of anything right now other than pain.
Thinking about pain amplifies it. Soldiers use a form of distraction where they focus solely on the task at hand, not the pain they're feeling.
Okay? Now you're all set. We did our best. There's nothing more we can do if you want to go back.
Yes.
We can't do more. And then you've got to grind your teeth and just...
Coming up, my first night in the jungle.
It's roughly 4 o'clock in the morning, and one of the soldiers screamed, "Wake up," and we all got up.
And later, a torturous test of resilience in a swamp. On my mission to understand the limits of human resilience, I'm walking in the boots of a soldier on one of the world's toughest assault courses.
Allez, 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 allez.
A day after injuring my hands, I travel upriver to rejoin my platoon.
On the one hand, it's quite exciting that we're moving upriver. On the other hand, I know this is going to be hard. I was reminded yesterday, this is the elite course that the best of the best take. See how tough they are. I'm no soldier, but I'm going to give it a go.
Oh, there we are. We're here. Okay. Shit, we're here, right here.
Nothing in your pockets. You don't have the belts.
Todd, you look tired, man.
Yeah, that's what you get for stopping.
Put the gloves on to help protect you.
Allez, avancez.
With my hands still stinging from the rope burns, it's a cruel twist of fate. Our first big challenge also involves ropes. This fine course requires upper body strength, dexterity, and unflinching confidence.
Wow, that was incredible. He just ran this whole course.
2, 1, départ. 3, 2.
Even with two able hands, this course is really difficult. And the platoon has been training with ropes for over a year. It's one of the challenges where soldiers regularly get injured, breaking bones and dislocating shoulders. The instructors are divided if I'm medically fit to attempt the ropes.
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but the captain has told me absolutely no. The doctors told me no. But the lieutenant in charge has said he wants me to do it.
Ok, Todd. Allez, try.
I'm determined to test my own resilience and prove to myself that pain really is all in the mind.
Well, this is fucking painful.
It's very difficult because it's always the hands on the root, so it's very difficult for him.
Halfway through the course, even the lieutenant in charge wants me to stop.
Todd, for you, your hands, it's finish. Okay.
My freaking hands are burning off. I think I've just torn all the Band-Aids off or whatever. That hurt.
But resilience is about not stopping, even when you want to.
Todd, turn, left, this direction. Sit. Hey, 5 meters, and it's finished. Push with your hands.
To push through, I focus all my attention on the specific task at hand, which redirects my mind away from the pain.
It's not finished. Continue. Okay. Up and jump.
Jump?
Jump here.
How?
And
What? Okay, okay.
up.
Okay.
Jump. Go. Good. And run. Run. Touch.
Upon completing the course, we must shout the jungle war cry.
Selva.
Selva is Portuguese for jungle.
Repeat after me.
Okay.
Stagiaire Todd.
Stagiaire Todd.
Pistolien terminé.
Pistolien terminé.
0 échec.
0 échec.
À vos ordres, instructeur.
À vos ordres, instructeur.
Okay, good. Go.
The skin.
Okay, now.
I just pull. Ah. There's bugs crawling into it and eating it at the flesh. Lovely.
Un échec. À vos ordres, instructeur.
Réponds, ton nombre.
They force them to do things they don't want to do. And it simulates the stress and the hardship they're going to have in combat. They practice it here because the majority of it is in their mind.
Pistolien terminé, 0 échec. À vos ordres, instructeur. Réponds, au faisceau.
It still hurts and in your mind.
The best time for the course is 6 minutes and 40 seconds, but the instructor is unimpressed.
Réponds. Je vous cache pas, les résultats, ils sont plus que catastrophiques. Avec les sacs à dos.
Out of our group of 14, 8 fail, and I'm surprised more than anyone that I'm one of the 6 to pass. After a full day in the jungle, we still have to set up camp. We sleep in hammocks strung between 2 trees under a waterproof sheet.
So this must be the head. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's the dressing. The dressing just fell in the mud.
At night, we face another wave of assault. This time from an army of insects, spiders, snakes, scorpions, and blood-sucking bats.
Have to hang the boots, put them upside down because creatures, as I found out today, some incredibly deadly ones, will climb into your shoes for warmth.
With barely the energy to cook dinner, the soldiers do what they can to prepare for the next day.
The idea for the guys tonight is to eat oil of the weapons, and then I want them to sleep, to get in as many hours as possible, because the next days, it's not always going to be easy.
A few hours later, we dress in our still wet and cold fatigues.
Sleep wasn't great last night. Something wrong with my hammock. I don't know when I went to bed, and I don't know when I woke up. All I know, and one of the soldiers screamed, "Wake up," and we all got up.
I may be suffering, but some of my comrades are raring to go.
Oh, really great. Sleeping really well. Ready for a new day.
Day 3 begins with a 45-minute trek in full combat gear, carrying 25-kilo packs.
Slow torture. Slow torture.
Followed by a dawn flag-raising ceremony. And then more rounds of punishment.
We did about 100 jump jacks, 25 push-ups, a couple of laps around the area, and then submerged underwater, came back and did some more push-ups. And that was them saying good morning.
The instructor's campaign of contempt marks a new phase in this psychological battle.
La politesse, elle demande de regarder la personne qui parle, qui vous s'adresse à vous, n'est-ce pas? Arrêtez les filles de papoter. T'as bien compris?
Coming up, a heart-stopping moment as our captain disappears in the mud. And what happens when a soldier is pushed to his physical limits. I'm putting the science of human resilience to the test. By spending 10 days on the French Foreign Legion's formidable toughen-up course in a jungle brimming with venomous animals. The last 3 days have been a blur of physical training, brutal assault courses, and lessons in jungle survival. Not helped by my injured hands. And the fact that most of the soldiers are 20 years younger than me.
C'est bon jusque là. Allez, on remonte.
They yell, I run. Oh, fuck, I better go. Everyone's running. Shit.
Here, we have to swim downriver using improvised life vests. Lurking in the water are anacondas and caiman alligators. The only thing consistent in this jungle is that we're always wet, and the instructors never stop yelling.
Hey, tu remontes sous le jerrycan. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. L'étode, il a un peu mal à suivre la cadence, malgré sa volonté d'exécuter.
See, there's the fish. Oh, fish. Bon appétit. Ouais, magnifique là. Ça a l'air super, hein. Ouais.
The only time I get to talk properly with the soldiers is at night, and I'm keen to hear what the captain thinks about resilience.
Do you think people are born to be in the military and are just naturally tough?
Yeah.
You do think
so? Yeah. Some people are just naturally fit for that type of mentality and type of job.
How do you reconcile, in the end, if you have to go out and kill someone you don't know?
I don't think you have much choice, though, because if you don't try and shoot him, he's going to try and shoot you. So I don't even know if you ask yourself the question.
Oh, that hurts. That is really bad, isn't it? Oh, God.
5 days in, my wounded hands are still fighting infection.
Hope I get some sleep tonight.
Each night, we barely get 3 hours sleep. As a result, we miss out on deep sleep cycles, which are essential for the restoration of our mind and body.
Oh my God, I'm so tired. I think I need like a month of sleep.
Studies have shown staying awake for more than 18 hours straight has the same mental impairment as having blood alcohol concentration of 0.1%. And it's one more weapon the Legion uses to break us down.
My strategy was to not know at what time it is at any stage. So I don't know what time I went to bed. I don't know what time I woke up. I find out afterwards, generally.
03:30.
What's that?
03:30.
That's really good. That is exactly why I didn't want to know.
Another strategy in psychological torture is to keep us in the dark about each day's challenge. You can't build up resolve to something if you don't know what that something is.
You know how the instructor calls you?
What?
He doesn't call you Todd. He calls you the Todd.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
Today's challenge begins by filling water bottles to both add more weight to our already heavy packs and to constantly keep us off balance.
Ce matin, vous allez faire piste Jaguar. Cette piste, elle a là pour but renforcer.
I don't think they should have given me a gun, but we'll go with it. No, it's okay. It's just for exercise. When it's orange here, it's just for exercise.
I just hope I can keep my injured hands clean and dry.
Allez, Todd, hurry up! The group wait for you!
Allez!
The Jaguar course consists of a series of challenges to test our ability to work as a team. After the sleepless night, I really admire the platoon's true grit. Their ability to suck up punishment and keep going. How they do it could have a lot to do with neuroscience.
There's a lot of competing science around combat resilience. One U.S. study has found that the difference between elite forces and regular troops is a neurochemical called neuropeptide Y, or NPY as it's called.
NPY helps regulate blood pressure, appetite, learning, and memory. It also works as a natural tranquilizer, controlling anxiety and buffering the effects of stress hormones and pain. The study found that elite soldiers release significantly more NPY in times of stress than regular soldiers, helping them to stay calm and think coherently. The soldier's NPY is about to be put to the test. We have 10 minutes to cross under a length of submerged, very sharp barbed wire, using only our boots and guns to keep it above our heads.
Attendez, parce que c'est autour de mon putain de cou, là.
The mud below is like quicksand, pulling us under.
Ok, chef de groupe.
Yes, right. Okay. Okay. Come on, up. Tire sur les jambes. Laisse la jambe, tiens.
By any stretch of the imagination, this is not good.
Not to mention, you could seriously lose an eye.
Allez, Todd, push. Push with your feet. Allez, Todd, c'est bien. Il faut réfléchir quand vous vous installez.
This really is as dangerous as it looks.
Allez, mon lieutenant.
And in the mayhem, our captain becomes trapped underwater.
C'est trop lourd. Allez, derrière moi. Attendez.
Deep in the Amazon jungle, I'm on one of the world's toughest military assault courses.
C'est trop long. C'est trop long. Attendez.
Our captain is stuck underwater, with barbed wire pushing him down.
C'est bon? C'est bon? Allez, on avance, oui, c'est bon. Oh, la tête, vous êtes autorisé à la mettre au sein du barbelé. Hein. C'est pas peine de vous noyer là-bas. On ira vous chercher.
We make it out, just, and the captain isn't happy.
In order to go further, you guys had to lift it. Except you dropped it, I was underwater and I couldn't get out, and that's why I swallowed a half-liter of mud and water. You had to keep pushing it up so I could go further.
Allez, avancez. Avancez fort.
The Jaguar course takes most of the day, and the last challenge is the most difficult.
I'm not certain what exactly we're meant to do because it's all in French, but we have to get this log across, and it's incredibly heavy, and if we make one mistake, the challenge is over. I better help.
I think the idea is to cross the course of ropes and logs as fast as we can, without touching the ground.
Allez, attrapez les pieds, allez, attrapez les pieds, soulevez les pieds, pas les jambes. Hey, allez, 1, 2, 3, hop. Ah!
Let go your foot, let go.
Ah oui, allez, Todd, c'est bien.
Allez, Claude.
I make it across the course.
Very good, Todd.
But what was lost in translation is I should have waited with the captain to help the last soldier up.
But your friend is in difficulty now. Look at your friends. It's a big problem now.
Having hit the wall, this soldier has nothing left. And I feel terrible. I've unwittingly broken one of the Legion's golden rules, to never leave a buddy behind. And I can't go back to help. Watching the soldiers struggle is painful.
Allez, debout, lève-toi et marche, rapidement. On ne perd pas de temps. Dépêche-toi là, action. Souffle un peu, relâche les bras et tu recommences.
That is true grit and resilience. This guy has fallen 3 times on his head, his back, his stomach, on the hard, uneven tree trunks.
Oh. Et toujours bras tendus, toujours les bras tendus, le maximum.
Dommage.
And they're just relentless.
Moi à sa place,
They're not letting him off. This is brutal.
Allez, en avant.
Oh, he's got it.
Oui,
Yes.
oui.
Non.
Allez, venez là.
Because of the soldiers' failure to complete the course, the whole platoon will once again be punished.
One of the many rules or rituals that the military has is every night you need to come down and clean yourself because there's lots of ticks and bugs and mud with diseases on them, and we have to do it in pairs because we're meant to check each other.
But even bathing has its risks. I'm warned not to wee in the water because of the fear of parasites.
Little creatures will crawl up the hose and give you big infections.
Is there anything nice about this place? Is there anything nice? Like, is there one thing that's nice?
I have gone to an alternative universe.
With 2 days to go, we get ready for our penultimate challenge.
Stop.
The instructors are intent on bringing us to our breaking point.
15 secondes. Top, c'est parti. 15 secondes.
Before surviving our last night in the jungle without food or shelter.
So we are pre-survival, and they're making sure that we bring nothing into the survival with us.
It begins with an inspection of our uniforms for any hidden supplies.
Qu'est-ce que courbe on a ici? Qui comprend pas? Équipement vide.
Right away, the instructor finds some food, and we all pay the price.
En avant! Là! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pas bon.
Go! 0, 1, 2, 3.
Every time they find something, they make us do 50 jumping jacks. So we've already done about 200 jumping jacks.
Nothing?
Nothing. Oh, I didn't even look in there. I didn't know that was a pocket.
When one soldier presents his hat for inspection upside down, it's another round of retribution.
Allez, c'est parti là! Un tour, autour des carpets, c'est parti!
And so the psychological torture continues for 4 hours, with every little misdemeanor resulting in punishment for everyone.
En fait, il faut débrancher le cerveau et il faut se dire que le message que notre corps nous donne, c'est pas ce qu'on peut faire nous-mêmes, c'est juste un message. Il faut pas écouter son corps.
Tout le monde dans l'eau! Dans l'eau!
It's hard to explain what it's like to be beaten down for 10 days with very little food, 2 hours of sleep a night, wet the entire time. In fact, I feel like vomiting right now. And the idea is, can you make decisions under this much stress? Because that's what you're going to have to do in combat.
Debout, vous me faites de la pitié là.
After 9 days of this living hell, my hands are still bleeding. I've hardly slept, and I'm now questioning my resolve.
You guys fuck off now. Fuck off. I said enough.
Coming up, a new low in mental torture.
This can't be good for the hands.
And one of the worst experiences of my life.
Hey, I'm drowning, eh?
After 9 days of relentless training with the French Foreign Legion, I finally reached my breaking point.
You guys fuck off now. Fuck off.
I'm now so focused on my own survival, I forget I'm making a TV show. My stress is so high, the part of my brain responsible for regulating emotion, the amygdala, has gone into overdrive. A battlefield technique is to slow down your breath, stop the negative self-talk, and visualize a positive outcome. Before we endure a night without food or shelter, we are ordered to strip down and get into the river for one final inspection.
Parlez aux poissons. Enlevez votre cycliste. Tout le monde cycliste à la main comme ceci.
Todd, we checked, there is nothing inside.
The instructors want to be certain we're not hiding any supplies in our underwear.
The other side?
Okay. Mettez dans l'eau, rincez votre...
At this stage, I think it's all over, but I'm wrong. My pride is about to turn once again to pain.
C'est romper, c'est romping.
I know how this looks, and no doubt there are people who pay good money for mud baths, but this is not one of those.
This can't be good for the hands.
It's the final psychological assault.
Come on, Todd. Come on.
It's times like this when you know things can't get any worse.
Pourquoi il est couché là-bas, debout? Debout, on se couche pas.
Allez, tirez là!
Allez, rapidement. Ici, là encore.
I mean, really.
Non, à quatre pattes! À quatre pattes!
In the boat, we're ordered to kneel down so we can't see where we're going. And 20 minutes later, we're dropped even deeper in the jungle to survive with nothing.
Debout les morts, on change des cimetières.
Abandoned and still covered in mud, the heavens break. With everything soaked, it takes an unbelievable 5 hours to light a fire. We managed to catch a grand total of 2 crabs and a fish. And we burn the last of our strength assembling a shelter to sleep under.
One of the things you definitely notice is how quickly everyone bonds together, friendship. Because it's us against a common enemy. In this case, it's that bloody instructor yelling at us. But it's us against pain, and it's us against endurance, and it's us against just being worn down and absolutely exhausted.
Come nightfall, we take it in turns to keep watch. 2 hours asleep, 2 hours awake, ahead of what will be the Legion's most grueling challenge.
It's not easy because we've got 8 or 9 guys that are laying on a bed of small logs. So it's kind of funny.
With virtually no sleep and having not eaten in close to 36 hours, we're all walking around like the living dead. And this is how we face our ultimate exercise in teamwork and resilience. The infamous stretcher carry.
Todd, you're the victim. Come on.
Given I'm already injured, I'm delegated to be the stretcher guy. I've actually drawn the short straw. The instructors regard being carried as the suicide position. If the injury doesn't kill you, being carried just may.
Donc, contrairement à ce qu'on peut penser, il est préférable plutôt de porter que se retrouver dans les brancards et d'être porté.
I'm about to find out why.
Todd, talk to me. You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm great. Oh, it's heavy.
It's not comfortable, I know.
I'm hogtied to a pole and can barely move an inch.
Messy.
We're going to be carrying him over an unknown distance through a swamp, so there's a lot of mud and water, and the tide's rising. The danger for him is that we drop him and we're not able to pull him out, and he'll drown in the mud and the water.
Just don't drop me in water.
We're split into 2 teams. Starting at opposite ends of the course, we'll cross somewhere in the middle. Just getting into the swamp is a major struggle.
Il y a des racines, il y a des roches, il y a des cailloux, il y a des troncs. Et on arrête. Il y a racines.
And the instructors do their best to recreate battle conditions. Turns out, the shallow creek is just for starters.
Oh, my leg. Ow, I've got...
Unable to move a muscle, my life depends on these soldiers holding the stretcher above the water. A near impossible task.
Hey, I'm drowning, hey! Water! Fucking water!
Allez, soulevez!
This is one of the most exhausting things I've ever done.
It's like being in a straight track and someone's trying to drown you and they're dragging me over stumps, my back.
What you can't see is the viscous mud at the bottom of the swamp, which sucks the soldiers down. Every footstep is a Herculean effort.
Soulevez l'emperche plus haut, vous voyez, il va se noyer bientôt.
Oh my God, my foot underwater.
Have I mentioned I'm not good with water?
Allez, pas dessous!
Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, the sling supporting my head falls off and the stretcher begins to slip into the mud.
Help! I'm underwater. Hold on. It's gonna turn. It's turning that way.
It's my final day with the French Foreign Legion, and the sling supporting my head has just fallen off. With the soldiers in their own world of pain fighting the swamp, the danger is I could easily drown without them actually knowing.
Help!
Oh, something's under
After 45 minutes of being dragged through the mud, cold begins to bite.
Well, I'm really shivering now.
I now risk hypothermia in the jungle. Who would have thought? When our core temperature drops below 37 degrees, our muscles automatically start rapid contractions in a bid to generate warmth. The good times just keep rolling.
I can't hold my head up anymore. Someone's got to fix the pack.
The soldier's English is as bad as my French. No one understands what I'm saying, and it's my director, Jeff, who rushes in to prevent me from drowning.
What's happening? Allez, come on! Come on! Avancez!
Almost there.
It's then when we see the other team.
Allez, no pain, no gain, en avant!
Whoa, he's standing on the, not on the stretcher. Allez, not on the stretcher. Whoa, fuck my leg.
What's happening? What's happening? Allez! Soulevez les brancards, bordel! Arrêtez de faire la sieste! Soulevez!
Oh, don't tell.
No pain, no gain!
After nearly 2 hours, all the soldiers have hit the wall, the result of glycogen levels dropping to a critical low. It's exactly what the instructors intended in this unrelenting test of our resilience.
This is absolutely exhausting.
Hey, on est deux là! On est deux!
We inch our way onto the final stretch, but still there's no relief from the swamp.
C'est pas loin!
This is the worst experience I've ever had in my life.
Then finally, the joy of solid ground.
Todd, I'm talking to you.
After 2.5 hours of our slog in the swamp, there's one last ritual.
À l'envers! La tête vers là-haut!
All up, I nearly drowned 5 times. My jaw is loose, my back is a tear, my shoulder is swollen. I have more rope burns on my hands.
Water!
And I'll have parasitic mud in my ears for weeks to come.
You got hit everywhere. That was really hard.
But you made it.
My time in the jungle will go down as one of the hardest but most rewarding things I've ever attempted. From hitting rock bottom, I was forced to dig deep and push myself through pain, doubt, and exhaustion.
Zéro échec. Zéro échec.
This was a real test of resilience.
Todd, depuis le début des stages, il a cumulé cette petite blessure au niveau des mains. C'est pour ce temps-là, le Todd, il obtient de très bons résultats au niveau civil.
If all Australian boys are the same as Todd, I can engage them. It will be very good for the Foreign Legion.
If I were a soldier, I'm told I would have passed the course.
I've learned a lot of things from these guys about resilience, pushing through limits, and mind over matter. But the thing I'll remember most is friendship. These are some of the best guys I've ever been around. That is one of the toughest things I've ever done. I'm really happy it's over. Viva!